I saw in recent B-roll they provided us that you didn't have the knee brace on. Did you go away from it here recently in camp? And if so, why did you do so? And do you just feel different without it?
Honestly, the preparation and just all of the rehabilitation that I've done over the last couple of months, it put me in a position to where I didn't need my knee brace after around 6 or 7 months. So that's part of the reason why I didn't wear a knee brace. They said it wasn't needed, so I wasn't going to wear it.
Next will be Ira Schofel from War Chant.
Hey, Jaiden, I'm sure every coaching staff approaches game preparation a little bit differently. And what have you seen from Coach Fuller and this staff in terms of how they prepare you actually for an opponent, not just your normal practice stuff?
I think the biggest thing that they have taught us is just preparing in every aspect. How you, eat in the morning, how you watch film, how you jog from period to period, how you attack your classwork, how you attack your independent film study. Like all of those things attribute to your performance on the field. So they just emphasize the importance of every little thing that we do and how it correlates to our play on the field. And I know like one of the main things that they always talked about us doing was, watching film as groups. Like the DBs coming together and watching film on our own so we can, get on the same page with everything. It might be a wrong call, but if we all communicated it the right way, then we'll be able to go to coach and then we'll be able to discuss things later on from there. But just the big thing is just, approaching everything as if that's what was going to determine the game-changing play in the game.
Next will be Kurt Wilder from Tallahassee Democrat.
And Jade, kind of along the lines of what Ira asked, I know you're kind of going through a game week. You're treating this as if it's game week, even though you don't have a game Saturday. I know you're doing the mock game. With the new coaching staff, how important do you think that is so that going into next week, kind of when it's for real, you have an idea of what's going to like what the expectations are, all sorts of things like that?
Personally, I think that the biggest thing or the biggest advantage that we get for treating this week like a game week is that we'll be able to get all of the kinks and all of the confusion and all of the bumps out, a week before the actual game. So I think that this is a perfect week, for us to just get all of the corrections and understand how it's really going to flow. So then when the actual week comes, it's going to start rolling. It's going to be week after week after week. So we'll just have a better understanding of what we need to do.
Next will be Vernon Stone from Knowles 247.
Hey, Jaiden, how's it going?
Good, and you?
Good, thanks. So I want to get your thoughts on moving back to safety. I guess what has it been like after bouncing around different spots the last few years to be at the position you played in high school? I imagine that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just looking at it from the glass half full, I was able to experience different positions and understand different terminology and understand a different side of the game. Being closer to the box and being in the box, it helped me develop my football IQ times 100. Like when I got into college, I didn't really know what the difference between a counter and a power read or, like all of these different type of run schemes. I knew more of the pass schemes because I played defensive back, but it just helped me understand football from a different perspective, and it helped with my communication and my knowledge of the game. So just being back on the back end, it's just very I'm just very excited, and I always like to consider myself, a Swiss Army knife. I can play every spot, so I can play in the box, I can play deep, I can play on the line of scrimmage, I can do it all, and I was able to display that by playing all of these different positions.
Next will be Andrea Adelson from ESPN.
I was hoping you could just describe what the roller coaster of emotion the last few months have been, not just for yourself and coming back from an injury, but also not knowing whether you guys were going to play, to getting to this point now where it looks like there's going to be kickoff to the season.
I mean, it's definitely been a roller coaster, and I know like one of the main things that I've always been taught since I got here. Joe Bourne, he always told me, control what you can control. And then once this new coaching staff came here, that was similar to their mindset. Just attack each day. Just worry about the next play. Worry about what's in front of you. Be where your feet are at. So that helped me get through, these last couple of months, especially from my injury. That was my biggest thing. Not necessarily worrying about what's going to happen down the road. Worrying about what I can do right now, so that when the down the road comes, I'll be prepared for whatever happens. So that's been our major process. Our major focus is just focusing on the next play, on the field and off the field.
Next will be Perry from Tomahawk Nation.
Hey Jaden, how's it going?
Good, and you?
Not too bad, thank you for asking. Just as far as the young guys go, the freshmen, how have they been acclimating to school like happening? They actually have to go to class now, and now they're covered for a game week.
It's been pretty tough. I've talked to a couple of them, but, I think the biggest thing that I always told them is, your mind is a very powerful thing. One of the freshmen that I've been talking to a lot was Corey Wren and Lawrence Tuafili. Those are two guys who I think that they have a lot of potential. Those are going to be star players, I think, this year, But I just, talk to them, and I'm letting them know, it's going to be tough, but anything tough, is worth it, And I think that these coaches are challenging us mentally, physically, emotionally, like in every aspect. And on top of that, the academics is just going to help them mold them into being the players and the people that they want to become.
We'll go back to Ira for more chance.
How weird has it been to see Isaiah on the other side of the ball, and what have you seen from him at wide receiver?
It was a little different, because he was actually the person that I sat next to him at film meetings. So the day that I didn't see him, I thought that he just showed up late. And then we go to practice, and I'm like, oh, snap, he's on the other side of the ball. But, I think that it's going to be a good fit for him. He's fast. He runs good routes. I think there's a lot of upside for him there. And I can see that, all the receivers, they're putting them under their wing, and, they're just helping him, understand the offense, understand what they're trying to do. And, it's really good to see, people from the other side of the ball being so welcoming, to bring somebody else in like that.
Go back to Brendan from Knowles 47.
Yeah, and we got to speak with Josh Kando a few minutes ago, and I want to get your thoughts on what it was like to see him smash the rock, and just to see his progress coming back from the injury last year, to see where he's at now. How cool is that?
It's always a blessing. Like the week before I got injured, he got injured, and it's just been a journey for both of us. And I seen him in the training room, rehabbing just as hard as I was. So it's just good to see, both of us, enjoying the fruits of our labor, and one of the biggest things, that I felt, when he smashed the rock was just like, man, it's always good to sometimes stop and smell the roses and look how far you came. And, I think that it was really good and refreshing to see, somebody go through something similar to what I went through, be able to, I guess express his testimony by smashing that rock. So it was really good to see.
Next will be Austin Cox.
Hey there, Jaden. How you doing, man?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I'm just wondering, with James being named the starter yesterday, and he said his biggest improvement was he was eliminating his turnovers. Have you seen that at all in practice going up against him?
Oh, yeah. Definitely, over the years, you develop as a football player, and I think that he was one of the main guys that I've seen, just take the film room a lot more serious. Not saying that he hasn't before, but, just taking it to a new level, and I think that everybody knows, what's ahead of us this year, and, what we have to do. We have to bring back the Florida State standard, so I think that, he took that upon himself, and I think that he's going to be, a great fit for us.